Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, it's those guys with your host Matt Marrero along with your other host. Oh no.
No, it's Tristan Walter.
Tristan has a Shinigami in his throat. Ryuk,
is that you again?
Oh, Ryuk, why are you showing up every 10 years?
You rapscallion.
Seriously, please give me the Death Note.
Are you sure about that one?
Oh, the funniest part of the movie for me. By the way, everybody, we're doing a live edition of Friday Night Movies. Now I know you're going to say, but Matt, isn't it always live? Shh, of course, baby, it's always live. Shh, don't look behind the curtain. No, because many of these episodes that we've been doing recently have been pre-recorded, and this one we're actually doing live on the date of because it happened that way. We caught up with ourselves. We've been super busy, and we looked at the time, and we said, oh, shit, we have to do one. And we had the ability to. Usually you're not free on Fridays. You got D&D because you're fucking amazing. You're so much cooler than I am because I can't focus on D&D. So, like, for me, I like, literally respect you so much because you can do D&D and I can't. We tried to do D&D once when I was in high school, and I just couldn't. I can't. So you have all my respect,
it depends
Tristan.
on the game, but...
No, I can't do D&D.
You know,
nope.
I've never heard anyone say that to me ever. And I don't think I ever will again.
And you're still trying to be like, no, it's nothing. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Anyway. No, but seriously, though, you can get through a lot of shit, like, with D&D. Like, I just can't. Like, I lose focus immediately if it's not, like, shiny and in my face. And speaking of, this movie was very shiny and in my face. And one of the funniest parts of the movie to me was when our new quote, well, he wasn't technically Kira, but he was the leader in theory, if you want to call him the leader of the Kira cult, right? And he's dying on the floor. Right, so he's dying on the floor, and he's crawling, and you see Ryuk next to him sitting, and to me, all I heard in my head was Ryuk going, yeah, this ain't my first rodeo. Because he was crawling just like
so
light.
Funny, aren't they? Yeah.
No, because he was crawling just like light
I
did.
see a lot of teenagers crawling blood-stained on the floor these days.
Yeah,
although you could say it was 10 years ago, but it seems just like yesterday.
Well, for an immortal, it does actually feel just like yesterday. I mean, Ryuk doesn't have a human brain, but apparently the human brain cannot experience immortality because time would start going too fast. No, like, there was this weird study done where it was like, even if the body could survive, the mind would not be able to comprehend thousands of years.
Right, yeah.
So anyway, but this movie, I think, was a movie that so at first I didn't expect for it to be that good. And you didn't either.
Yeah.
I know.
No.
Then I saw the trailer, and I was like, Tristan, we're going to fucking do this movie as soon as we can. And then you were like, okay, Matt, whatever. And I was like, no. You didn't see the trailer, but like I explained to you, I was like, no. We got to do this. And I still feel like you didn't kind of believe me. And then seeing the movie, it delivered much more than any... Like, I've never seen a movie that was based off of... I've never seen a movie that was a spin-off in a sense. Like, it doesn't have an actual canonical manga or comic book or anything to so it's a sequel to Death Note, but there is no equivalent to this in a manga or comic or anime episode or anything. So I've never seen something like this, a standalone adaptation, be this good. Because anytime, like, I'm thinking of some other movies. Like, I guess we could argue maybe like Jurassic Park 3 was just like, ooh, no. Why? So I didn't hate it as much as you did because I thought you didn't like Jurassic Park 3. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yes. No, you're right.
Okay.
That's the one I didn't like.
I didn't dislike it as much as you did, but I can obviously say that, compared to the first one, I'm like, no, thank you. But this one, I think, stood alongside the first two Death Note movies.
Yeah.
Like I would not say like, oh yeah, watch the first one, watch the second one. Don't worry about this one though. No, I'd go, you got to watch all three. Even to someone
Right.
who's a huge anime and manga fan, specifically of Death Note, I'd go, no, you got to watch this one definitely. Hell, I'd even say in some ways, I'd give them a little like a cheat sheet, potentially written on Death Note paper, a cheat sheet of like what was and wasn't in the first two movies, and be like, if you've seen the anime manga, just go watch Light Up the New World.
Once you've read this paper, you will die.
Yeah, because the only differences in this movie compared to the anime manga is there's still no Nier or Mello. Mikami had his role changed up, but in a cool way, in my opinion. Misa, I know she
fucking weird.
I gotta be what with Mikami or Misa?
Yes.
Okay, that's fair. I'm actually happy with Misa in a way because Misa was a lot smarter in a sense than because when we see her originally, we forget that she's also a kid just like Light.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So no, but now she's much older, she's much wiser, and at first, even though she had the curiosity of pushing Light's vision, it still felt like there was this bit of like, hey man, I just got my memories back, and frankly, I was liking the way things were going before the memories came back.
Right, yeah. It was kind of like, I've moved on with my life. Dear God, why did you bring this hellhole back?
Yeah. No, it's nice because I was a little nervous she was just immediately going to jump on the bandwagon like, of course I love Light-kun. And it's just like, no, she's just like, yeah, no, like I'm still into him, but like, I just was having a good life.
I mean, that's the sad. I mean, that's
yes.
Like, she still killed a lot of people.
But in a way, I think that's more closure than I think I've ever seen of the character in any adaptation, including the original version.
Oh, that's
because
fair.
Because the original version, it's like she killed herself, and it's like, well, I mean, she would. At that point in the story, she's the kind of character that would do that, but it's not closure necessarily.
Yeah.
And then you have the anime version where we only see her standing off the side of a building, but I don't think it was to play patty cake. I think we knew where that was going. I
thought in the anime she joined a covenant or something, and just that was it. Like she lived her life, and that was it.
No, she was in her outfit, the Lolita type outfit, standing on the side of a building at in episode 37.
Huh.
I don't know if there was
it's been a while.
I mean, no, hear me out. There were those two anime adaptations, the movie ones. Maybe in those something else happened to her. But at the end, in episode 37, when they switched between, because remember, Light ran out of the factory in that one.
Yeah,
he didn't. So when he runs out, it switches to her, and I think she's like, yeah, I know it's happening, or that was like to symbolize it. So as he's dying in the light, she's just standing on the side of a building, and I'm like, I think she's making a pact with God, but I don't think it's ending the nun way.
That's ominous.
I think it's ending a different way.
Right.
So looking at this film though, it did so much so well, but I think within the last 20 minutes it completely fell apart. And it just went in a direction that I just wasn't. It's not just that I wasn't a huge fan of, but some of it to me just simply did not make sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I feel like I understood everything that happened, but my brain is telling me, nah, don't think about it. Just don't. It's bad for your health. Don't think about it.
That's the problem with this movie, because I think up until that point, they actually had done a good job at illustrating what was going on, in my opinion. Like, it was a lot going on, don't get me wrong. There's a lot going on, I will admit. Like, it is kind of, like, you're watching it, and it's very intense every minute. It's a lot going on. But I feel like I could easily follow, or not easily, but I could follow what was going on until the last 20 minutes when they were like, okay, so here's the big twist, but instead of Ryuzaki killing him, he thinks of him as a successor. And it's like, why? The only thing that I could think of is because that's the only person that he knows, but I got to be real with you. If I've never known or trusted anybody, but I do know Hitler, I'm going to try to find someone else. Maybe a guard outside.
Right?
Maybe that's my only issue is that like his and also, by the way, the person that tried to kill him, and also I'm Hispanic, Hitler would want to kill me. So like, but you see what I'm saying though, right? Like, even if I've never known anyone else other than this maniacal person, who, by the way, I will admit is not exactly like Light in a sense, but still has those same ideals. So in a way, it feels like it's trying to give the Notebook to Light to help catch a Light. Now, I will admit, though, the end of the way they show the whole New World thing and the graphic at the end there, I wonder if it's just them trying to say, like, hey, man, the rules are fucking on their head. So, like, essentially it's kind of, here's the way I look at it, right? You could argue. The rules of the old world don't make sense anymore. Nobody does the shit that they do in Mad Max in the normal world, but now it's Mad Max, so what the fuck are you going to do? Put on some leather. So... But you see what I mean though, right, Tristan? Like, perhaps that's the idea of like, hey man, shit's topsy-turvy now. What are you going to do? Right? Terrorists now have 2 books. They're out in the open. What do you, and also you have Ryuk saying the shit that he said. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
But to me though, even though I think of that as a potential reason, I still feel like it wasn't put across as well, perhaps. Like, it just feels like, again, I say it fell apart in the sense that I'm not, it's just, it feels as if when you have that big reveal and that big twist, you should then think, oh, so then he is the bad guy. But the movie tried to tell me, no, he was not, as if he wasn't. And I'm looking around and I'm like, no, but he is.
It feels like the movie's like, well, he's both.
Which to be fair, in a way, Light was too. When he gave up his notebook, he was like this really nice 17-year-old, which I do like that the movie did clarify something that I think we've all been saying, but it's never been said out loud. Death Note makes you crazy, yo.
Oh, yeah.
No, but they've never said that out loud.
Corrupts, absolutely.
They
never did, but like...
Yes, but clearly it shows, like, the Light's son, 9 years old, fucking batshit. He was crazy. Mikami, that's what Ryuk said. Mikami was crazy.
Right. Drove them mad. Well, yeah, of course it Okay, that's what bothers me the most, though.
What?
Out of this whole scenario. Light has a kid that no one knows about.
Oh, you're telling me Light doesn't fuck? Light fucks. I'm not saying he likes to, but Light
was it actually his kid, or did he just adopt? I mean, granted, it would still be his kid then, but like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, did he adopt a child? Because that sounds more believable to me.
Oh my God, really? That sounds more You saw, in the movie and in the manga and in the anime, they made it very apparent. If Light snapped his fingers, he got some. They made that very apparent. Light was never like, oh, excuse me, can I get are you a lady? Light was never like that. Light didn't, I'm not saying Light wanted,
I just felt like it was so, like, even if it was for a plan, I just feel like he'd be like, this is beneath me.
No, she was beneath him. For a what does not work for a plan, Tristan, or even in practice, is L having sex with others. L does not seem like the kind of person. L seems like the kind of person that even for procreation, he'd be like,
L's DNA lived on. He put that in the freezer, didn't he?
That's what it sounds like. Honestly, no. Like,
that's what it sounded like indefinitely.
And by the way, it's fine if it was. I'm not trying to shame any of them. I'm just saying that, like, it just seems like L is the type of person who would be like, I'm not interested in the physical aspect of any of this, and I also would not like to. Where Light is like, I have better things to do, but I mean, I have to sire a kid because my plan is extremely out there. My plan is extremely out there. So,
my plan is extremely convoluted, and no one will ever get it.
And by the way, and someone could say that plan was a bit too convoluted. The thing is that for me, I feel like if you've gotten into Death Note and you're okay with it by now,
Oh yeah.
I feel like it's a bit hard to say that his kid being born and being moved to and being in America and stuff like that. I feel like it's weird to say that that's where it leaves your body. Where it's just like no. The manga itself was it's in itself too much. Like there's nothing. Like what I'm trying to say, Tristan, is there's so many variables that even the manga, the original source material, it's like, all right, you have to have some suspension of disbelief.
Yeah. No, I mean, I guess for me, it's just I always felt like Light would be like Emperor Palpatine in the sense, like he was like his power would never be relinquished to someone else. It was always going to be him being the god of the new world.
I don't know why. I'm so sorry. My brain, and I'm so sorry, Tristan. My brain immediately said, you know that I have funny, intrusive thoughts, and sometimes I have terrible ones, but the funny ones, I'm like, I just have to share them. I heard in my head, oh, Palpatine fucks. So I'm sorry. He doesn't. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
It depends.
All right, I don't want to go there.
Legend.
What extended canon are you reading, Tristan?
I haven't read it. It's just stuff that I've heard.
Mm-hmm. Smut canon peddler.
No. No.
He's just peddling the smut canon. Anyway, Tristan, please relax.
Oh,
God. Oh, jeez. No, but anyway, here's the thing, right? No, I'm not saying that Light wanted to. I'm just, because you're saying relinquishing the power. No, but it's the idea that shit's going to go wrong. So if shit doesn't go wrong and I'm the king, what, is this kid going to come up and be like, Light can't live forever, but if everything goes well, then
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
And I think somebody else with his ideals and have them continue on in his stead. Like, I get that, but like, I don't know.
I mean, look, I'm not saying that you're wrong there. I'm just, because you can, believe me, like, that's fine. That's fair, actually. I'm just saying that, for me, the entire movie itself, quote-unquote, made, like, you could follow it. You could say it didn't make sense, but you could, like, follow, like, okay, so he had a kid, and then this, and then this. But then once we get to the 20 minutes, to the last 20 minutes, and it's like, oh, he was the bad guy for some reason. Granted, that just shows you how Light's plan actually fell apart in a way. Somehow. Like, Ryuk helped because I think at that point Ryuk not only wants to have fun, but then his explanation, which is another thing that I think did not make sense, came up in the car ride towards the end of the movie. That explanation makes zero sense to me. None whatsoever.
Oh, that the king would let them have the throne if they found the next Kira?
Yes.
Yeah, because what do they get to gain out of it? Like, I guess more lifespan?
They lose. No, they lose. They lose, because think of it like this, right? They're a food source. If you give your food source nukes and allow them to destroy each other, you don't have a food source.
Oh, right, because it's only Shinigami get the extra lifespan left over when they kill a human.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not like
that doesn't make any fucking sense at all.
Yes, it's not through the other humans, and even if it was through the other humans, you get a few extra hundreds and thousands of years, and then nothing because they've all killed each other. Because if every single person, not even every single person, frankly, one person who's maniacal enough with a death note could kill thousands of people.
Yeah, I mean,
or more.
Yeah, it would make. The only thing that would make sense for Ryuk is just, like, maybe doing it every 10 years because he's like, I'm bored again.
Well, more so like, okay, Light told me this really funny plan, this really good plan. I can't leave for too long because the Shinigami King will, like, fucking notice. So I went back and I was like, boop-a-doop, I'm Ryuk, haha. And then I came back down and it was so much fucking fun. Like,
right, yeah.
I could see him doing that. Like, honestly, Light's plan is so fun that this is what I did. And then some people would say that maybe it doesn't make sense for Ryuk to pull the hoods off of those SWAT teams' heads, but I do believe, and this is, I know you could say this is my fan canon or whatever, but like I do believe that when looking at Light versus this newer, cult leader wanting to be the next Kira guy, Ryuk didn't like Light. I think Ryuk really gelled with this dude. Like, there's something about him and this new guy. No, because the thing is that, like, I think I just feel as if with Light and Ryuk, with Light being so prideful, oh, I will do this all by myself and nobody ever. It's like, all right, fine, dickweed. Ryuk, don't talk to me. All right, whatever. So, like, all this shit.
I think it was probably more of the time he didn't let him have apples.
Probably, perhaps. Like, no, like he definitely was kind of like, all right,
you fuck.
Yeah, but it does feel like in this situation. I mean, even when he says humans are funny, huh? And Ryuk's just like, I like this kid. I gotta be real. Like, I like him. You know? No, like it just
you're
feels
gonna
like
die, but like for the 5 seconds that I knew you, you were funny.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like he pulls it off because he's like, honestly, this is fucking hilarious. Literally, they think they can. Like, I can't do anything, and they can't do anything, but like, I can just pull the hoods off, and then boom. But with also the fact that it wouldn't have mattered with Light because he didn't have the Shinigami eyes. No, I feel like with this kid, there was just something a bit more with Ryuk in him.
Oh,
not like he liked him more than Light or anything. Well, I say kid because he seems young. You know, this new cult leader, quote unquote, whatever you want to call it.
In the white suit.
Yes.
Oh God, did we get his name?
We did, but I've forgotten it. What I love is that I love that his actor, he was actually in Kamen Rider. He was such a good guy that I thought looking at his suit, he was going to be the near side of the L equation. Because when you look at the menu, which is also similar to the cover art for the DVD in Japan, and also some of the discs, because I got the Blu-ray DVD combo pack. So when you look at the cover, or like the menu, you've seen it, Tristan. You've seen the DVD. It looks as if the one on the left, the cult leader, he's like I'm L's successor, but I'm more near. And then on the right, it's like I'm L's successor, and because he clearly has the mask, but I'm more mellow.
Mm.
And then in the middle, he's like, I'm a cop caught up in all of this. Turns out, God damn it, they foreshadowed it. Ryuk is hovering above the police officer.
Mishima.
God damn it. I mean, his wings extend to the rest of them, which is kind of funny because he does kind of cover all three of them in a way. But he's actually right above him. That's terrible.
Yeah. Damn.
Also, the poster that exists has Light on the left-hand side and an L on the right-hand side, which actually does in that way show you, the guy on the left associates with Kira, and the guy on the right associates with L. Yeah, very interesting, by the way. They didn't get the actor for L back, but I think they actually got him to dub over the lines in the flashback.
Right, yeah.
But what was really funny is that they got Light's actor back, and he honestly does not look much older. Like, whoever did the makeup the makeup and the CG. Yeah, really good. Because he looks like maybe a few years, to be fair, but like not far enough to be like, because it actually has been 10 years since the movie. Well, it's been longer now, but when the movie was being filmed, it was 2015, 2016. Yeah. Because remember, Tristan, if anyone doesn't know, movie came out in 2016 in Japan, but I thought we would never get it legally in the U.S., and I was going to go, oh, well, and then out of nowhere, we talked about this on our other show, Keikaku Corner, out of nowhere, Funimation was like, we've licensed, I don't know why they sound like this, we've licensed the first 2 movies in a combo pack, and also this one. And I'm like, all right, fuck. And so I'm never going to get the first 2 probably because I already have it by Viz when they originally released it on DVD.
Right.
So, I mean, I would suggest you'd get it if it's cheap enough if you want it, but I would, I don't really care much for getting it, but also because there's no dub on it. The Viz one actually has the English dub. But Here's the interesting thing, though. They didn't license L Change the World, and I think the reason why is because this movie clearly goes against most, if not all, of those plot points.
Yeah.
Because there's no Nier. The orphanage isn't even mentioned.
Right, yeah.
Like, there's so much that wasn't picked up from that. So I'm just sitting here, and I'm like, they, I don't know. I don't know, and they don't want to tell me? All right. let's
like
see
that,
what the fuck's going
that
on.
One,
yeah.
Yeah, like that one feels like it's supposed, like, okay, here we have two alternate endings. You get the good end where L wins, and then you get the bad end where Kira kind of wins.
Yeah, right. It's so interesting.
My God, the fucking I don't know how to feel about that after credit scene.
I think it's bullshit. That's the interesting thing. So when it's revealed that Light is actually dead, and also that his kid did not make it either, in my head I was like, so I guess this truly is Light's plan actually falling apart. So even though the after credits is kind of supposed to be there to make you be like, in my opinion, I think Light's just like, it's not up to Light anymore. That's another issue too. Once you bring in the Shinigami King, it's like, so it's out of Light's control. Like that was never in his fucking plans.
Right.
You know? So
I mean,
Light,
I guess you could argue like he took out Rem. So maybe in a way he would eventually plan to be like, well, got to take out the other Shinigamis because only I can be God.
Yeah,
I don't know if he thought that far into that, but
the
Ryuk's
king
just looking at him like, oh hell no.
But the king doesn't have anything to do with that. That's the thing. It's a good idea, but the king could just be like, how about I write your name multiple times, but you can't kill me more than once. You fucking idiot.
How about I visit you there in limbo, you fuck?
That's what I'm saying. Like, remember, even what's his name? Bellup, the first one, the creepy one that they met. Yeah, Beppo. Thank you. Even Beppo was like, I don't even know all the. Yeah, he was like, I don't even know all the fucking rules, man. And I was like, oh.
How many rules are there? I don't fucking know.
That was nuts. Oh, by the way, so one thing I do want to say though, I don't believe the twist with the officer Mishima, right?
Yeah.
Mishima. Or am I? Thank you. Okay, so with Mishima,
I think you're right.
I don't think the twist was bad. I can understand why some people would, but I believe that if you watch the movie again, the twist was foreshadowed enough, just based on the fact that he's a huge Death Note fan. Is a twist and is enough of a thing that makes you go, to me anyway, oh, okay, because I thought it was like a think like your enemy thing, so that's why they got him in the task force.
Right.
But the fact
I thought that too.
But it does make sense now. Like, well, that's why he knows so much. Granted, I don't think he dropped anything that was never mentioned in the first two movies, although it would be funny if he did and we didn't notice because we're huge Death Note fans. No, like, it would be funny if, like, he dropped something that someone is like, that was never mentioned in the official reports.
Right.
Yeah. And I gotta say that in the middle of the movie where it's like, what do you know about Mikami? I was like, this dude's such a dick. And apparently, no. I was wrong.
I was the dick.
The big twist. Just me. Just me holding my heart. Oh God, I was the dick. Like I just have a flashback. The way the movie showed the flashback so vividly, beautiful, because I actually believed it for a second.
Right. In the moment, I was like, "What the fuck's going on?" But now, like seeing the whole thing and the whole scene play out, now I'm like, "All right, you know what? That was actually pretty cool."
Yes, no, because at the time because I was like, he's gonna touch it and it's gonna immediately flash, and then he didn't, and I was like, you see, and he's like, ha ha, you see, and then it went dark, and I was like, oh no, no. Actually, you know what's funny?
God.
I put my hand over my mouth when he was like, what if your memories? When Ryuzaki was like, what if your memories were erased?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
oh fuck.
I was like, because the thing again, the movie really signaled, like, I mean, literally like a flashlight in your face that someone's had their memories erased. You think you might know who, but you really fucking don't. I thought it was just never going to come into play because something that movies do a lot, actually. They throw out sometimes too many red herrings, and then none of them actually are seen through. So I thought that was just a red herring that we were never really going to actually catch. Like, oh, hey,
Right.
sometimes, some people lose their memories. Of course, I know that some people lose their memories. Hell, Misa lost her memories. We get it.
Right.
But no.
I mean, Light did it too.
Of course. So it's like, no, we're never gonna see that happen. Fuck.
Right.
But no, in the rain and everything, like, it's just the way that it hit him. And also, by the way, another scene that again called into, back to the movie itself, when he stares at that weird abyss that in a way looks like the Shinigami realm.
Right.
When I saw him originally stare at it, and he had this weird look while staring at it, it was kind of like he was trying to remember why he put it up.
Yeah.
And I didn't catch that, because why would I need to?
Right.
Also, the fact that his notebook literally says in English, like notebook on it, and usually, not all the time with the ones in the movie, but usually the Death Note has the words Death Note written in English.
Right.
So the motherfucker literally has his own notebook filled with Death Note rules in it. Like, honestly, this one is hitting me so hard in the face that I'm like, it hurts. Please stop.
I mean, I think that's
I'm
the funny
already
part.
dead.
It's like, it's the idea. It's like all this shit kind of hints at him, but it's like smacking you over the face with it. So you're like, well, that's too obvious then, right?
But
right.
I think it's, you know what it is? I think I was expecting this, just from the way the first 20 minutes opened up, to be so much of a pure action movie with some cat and mouse games, a bit more than Change the World,
Yeah.
But still so much of an action movie. I think I forgot that there's a psychological element to it because, yes, it is Death Note. So I never thought of a big twist because to me it was like, well, what big twist is there? We already know everything from the first two movies. What big twist is there? And then it's just like, wait, I'm not Kira. And I thought, wait, because I think you agreed with me on this too, Tristan.
Well, if
I didn't tell
I'm
you
not
this.
Kira, and you're not Kira, and he's not Kira, then who the fuck is Kira?
Wait, no. Oh, wait a minute. I think he might be Kira. Oh, just screaming.
Give him a minute.
All right. Yeah.
Does this happen every time? It's like the cool kid looking at Ryuzaki. Does this always happen when you hand someone a notebook? Yeah, give him a minute.
Actually, it's funny. Yeah, Ryuzaki's like, more often than you'd think.
This is the third time this week.
My God. I mean, pretty much.
God.
So here's something really funny. I don't know why this just hit me. Maybe it's because I'm talking to you. But it's just, he's screaming in the rain near a dead body, this close to becoming Super Saiyan. He was on the cusp.
My God.
He was so close to becoming Super Saiyan.
Jesus Christ.
So close, yet so far. So, yeah, there was a lot in this movie that really does make me enjoy it. But again, I'll keep on going back to it, and I'll sound like a broken record. But that last 20 minutes, as if we're supposed to assume that with his new memories, he isn't he was still the person that he just was. Like, he literally killed her brother. Also, by the way, can I point to something also that didn't make sense? Although, this didn't make sense. So, the new Shinigami, I love her design, by the way, the one who loves grapes.
Yeah, Arma, I think it was, right?
Yes, she protected him, Mishima.
Or Amra.
And technically she tried to protect Ryuzaki, but she didn't need to protect either one of them because she was going to kill Mishima, not Ryuzaki.
Yeah.
So in doing that, that was just their way of trying to write out a plot point because they were like, well, we introduced the new Shinigami. We have to write her out because she can't be following Ryuzaki the entire time. And she'd also want to kill Mishima later somehow out of anger to protect Ryuzaki, and we want to keep Mishima alive. So during this standoff, even though Ryuzaki is in no danger,
right,
she's going to kill him or you kill her.
Yeah.
And I was like, it just didn't make sense to me. Like, it clearly, like, when you see what unfolds later, it's clearly because Ryuzaki wants to keep Mishima alive, and she would have killed Mishima. Like, she would have written his name in immediately. and then she would have died. So it felt like it was just the movie was trying to wrap some things up, but in ways that I was just like, that doesn't make sense. And again, the Shinigami King, I'll bring it up again, it just doesn't make sense. Like, why are they killing their only food source?
Right.
Because it's like, because even though it could, because the thing is, it's not like we've heard any, because everything we've seen about the Shinigami realm, there is nothing like yes, the Shinigami are gambling all day and they're restless and they're idiots, but even though this gets them working again, quote unquote, there's no Shinigami economy. There's no reason why they need to be working. It's not like there's going to be a revolt. Like,
right.
What for what purpose is this happening other than, like, you could have just had another movie based around Ryuk wanting fun. Why are the other Shinigami involved? They saw how much fun Ryuk was having. Shit, I mean.
Right. Yeah, that would have made more sense to me.
Yeah. Like, I think that was that's one of my biggest things with the movie in that last 20 minutes, and 20 to 25 minutes. It just, there was no reason to have it be some bigger grand Shinigami issue.
Right, and because that would have been interesting too, because then it's like, I wonder if, like, the Shinigami would have handed their notebook off to somebody else, and it's like, okay, this one's my human. I'm going to bet that they win, they achieve their goals. And then I guess it would kind of be funny if there was a point where one of the other Shinigami tried to fuck with somebody else's Death Note and they're human, and it's like, hey, that's against the rules. And then they, like, start fighting each other.
I thought Ryuzaki Shinigami, I thought she was feeding info to other people.
Really?
Because he only saw her when he came back home. She can fly around.
Right.
She can talk to Ryuk, or Ryuk can come over to see her. Like, I was expecting something crazy like that to happen before having Mishima be the big bad.
Right.
Like, it's nice that they kind of kept it to where humanity are the villains.
Yeah.
And Kira is, I mean, to be fair, I think the thing is that, like, if Light could be looking up from hell right now, I think he'd be really happy to see the way his name has become so synonymous with a god, and he's not even around to experience the consequences.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. In the beginning, I'd say no, but, like, towards the end, Kira, yeah, he probably would be.
Yeah. Although it's kind of really...
he was always like, I guess it was, the idea was named Killer, but...
Well, no, remember that he did say out loud in the first episode, first chapter, I want to be the god of this new world. Granted, I don't know if he wanted to have his face out there necessarily.
Yeah.
But what's interesting, by the way, I love how the cameos, in my opinion, were very tasteful. Like, they didn't really overpower the plot, where, like, you could have easily, if you didn't want to write Mishima as the bad guy, you could have written him out and put Matsuda in the leading role.
Right. Oh, Matsuda.
Yeah, dude, that, you know what really made me sad about that? I thought it was going to be a big toothy grin. I thought it was going to be a big toothy grin, but no, it was Matsuda's standard happy grin, and I was like, it's Matsu, and I was like, God damn it, no!
What
you know what's
the fuck?
I thought they were going to, like, do this weird connection thing where it's like Matsuda shoots all of them, even though, yes, he technically can't, but if he writes the other names in there, he technically could kill all of them, in theory.
Right, yeah.
Because you can, even though in the movie they were like, you can't kill more than one person with the notebook at a time, and it's like, you technically can, but you have to write both names together.
Right.
So, like, I can't write, like, Tristan Walter shoots Anthony Toto. By the way, another contributor for the channel. We love you, Anthony. So, I can't write that, but I could write Tristan Walter shoots Anthony Toto, and then write Anthony Toto shoots Tristan Walter, and then write, and both of them die at, and if I line it up correctly, which if I'm a super mad genius like Light, apparently I fucking know everything, you both would kill each other, and everyone would be like, man, that's terrible, and no one would know that anyone orchestrated it. What?
I don't know whether this is a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm happy you did not actually specify a time, because if you did, I might, you would have heard a click, and it would just be me and Anthony on the next train out to get you, because I'm like, he has killed us both. We are already dead. We need to take him down with us.
I didn't tell Tristan that I wrote "It happens in my apartment." So,
Fuck you, bastard! You bastard!
Whoopsie daisies! Oh no, did I make an oopsie murder? So
we're just all in a fucking standoff with pistols pointed at each other, and you're holding a fucking note. Me and Anthony have pistols, and you have a fucking notebook.
Oh
I
my
can only
God.
imagine your mom walking in. Oh, are you guys filming?
I pull out a camera. Yes. Filming.
Yes.
Go back in the room, Mother. We're filming. Oh, of course. Goodbye.
God.
Excellent.
God.
No, but anyway.
Matt up the new world.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, so I do really enjoy this movie, man. Like, I would have given this movie out of 5. I would have given it 4.5, or out of 10, 9.5. But 8.5 at most. Like, for me, that end really threw the whole thing out of whack for me. And I know that might seem, maybe, oh, okay, good. So you're not too off. Because I thought you were going to be like, nah, man. But I think you see where I'm going. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's funny, in talking about it makes it better because that's the thing, throughout the whole film, like I knew what was going on, and it's not like it was a problem of like, this doesn't make any sense, I can't follow it. Like, I was following it, but I was just like, what?
No, it was too fast. It did, because
it was
so much
quick here and there.
They were very ambitious, and
right.
due to them being so ambitious, and clearly they didn't cut a lot out because the movie was over 2 hours long. It was a situation where even with Matsuda's death, although I think they wrote it well, the reason why they couldn't breathe, because it's like, we're in the middle of an investigation. But, oh, by the way, another situation where you were like, this new guy is a jerk, and I thought you were talking about Ryuzaki because I didn't know where you were watching it, so I was like, hey, and you were like, no, I like Ryuzaki, I'm talking about Mishima, and I was like, oh, that's fair, actually.
No, I wasn't actually talking about Mishima. I was talking about the other kid in the white suit. When he was talking to like Misa, and then the fact that he killed Matsuda.
Right.
Which
sorry, I thought you
now
were.
Is not. Well, that's the thing. Did he wasn't the one that set up Matsuda to die? Then it was Mishima, or was it?
I mean, well, I know. I thought it was him because I thought it was. No, I thought this. No, because here I have to understand. Mishima gave him all of the everything, so he had all of the recordings. I'm pretty sure he made the recordings, not Mishima. Or if Mishima made them, he gave them to him.
Yeah, well, he made the recordings and everything, and then he gave Ryuk the SD card with the notebook, and he said, "Pass this on."
Yes, exactly. So in a way, you could argue he orchestrated it, but I mean, in theory, I think the cult guy had more going on than we think.
At that point,
Yeah. So I do think that he helped set this up more than we're giving him credit for. But I will admit that one thing that I did notice, and I was hoping you would have picked it up, I don't think the movie made clear that he wasn't, that clear anyway, that he wasn't the Kira. Because I thought that it's like, because originally when the movie starts up, you think that the new Kira is that girl who's just walking around mindlessly killing people. And then when she's killed by, new cult leader, you're like, oh. And then you hear, oh, no, she wasn't the new Kira, and that there are more notebooks out there. So when we're counting down all the notebooks and stuff like that, I thought that the idea that, there isn't a new Kira, or if there was, he was one of the ones that were killed, like the New York stockbroker dude, who had no lines. I love it. An American with no lines. The Russian dude had more lines. No, because they're like, here is a Russian doctor in the first few minutes, and then and then they just randomly were like, and here's the New York stockbroker guy, and then he's sitting there, and then he just goes,
and here's the Devil of Wall Street. He jumped off the building. Yeah, no one liked him.
He jumped off a building. Interestingly enough, there were people who were ready and willing to push, but he said, no, please, I will jump. We did not write that into the notebook. Man, this guy was not liked. One thing that I have to say that I really enjoy about this movie, more than anything, is the lack of blood.
Oh, right. In reference
general,
to
everything.
Other adaptations.
Just pretty much, just 100%, yeah. Because here's the thing, right? So you have to understand.
No, I agree.
Anyone listening in, right? I have zero problem with gore. Like I've seen, what was it? Videodrome.
Yeah, no, like your tolerance for gore is definitely higher than mine. So.
But here's the thing though. I feel as if I'm going into a certain type of movie, I'm expecting a certain type of experience. So in other words, if I'm sitting there, even if it was like this is like an R-rated version of Care Bears, I'm going to safely assume they're not going to be like, we must eat each other to survive. Even if it was R-rated, I would expect like cursing and like other weird stuff. I always expect weird stuff from like an R-rated version, but it's still like the core is like Care Bears. So like even if it's like we must love to kill, I don't know if I'd expect like decapitations and shit. So like even though I'm expecting Death Note is Death Note, the brand isn't let's decapitate people. And remember, by the way, if anyone forgot, in the Netflix adaptation there was a decapitation. Why did that have to rhyme in that way? In the Netflix adaptation, there was a decapitation. I don't know why, but it did.
Right.
But there was though, and there was also, and just the people jumping off. Well, not the people specifically. They were the FBI agents. They were all jumping off the buildings and stuff. And I was like, and we saw them hit the ground. Like I was like, look, we don't need this. Like I know Death Note was built around this idea of kind of being a little edgy, but it wasn't like that type of edgy. There's different types of edgy that I think it brought to the table. So
yeah, because I mean, at least like in the original Death Note, like there were some deaths that were a little more graphic than others, but it never felt like that was the draw of it. It was always the tension and the psychological elements of it, and the cat and mouse games between Light and L. It was never about, it was never about the death of the criminals to be like, oh, look how horrifying it is.
Yes. So that's why I'm so happy
going
that
into this, I'm happy about it too. It's still focusing on the, the police chase aspect, which is
the
good.
cat and
That's
mouse.
what I come to expect when I come into Death Note.
Yes, and believe me, like a different adaptation can be different. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah,
but
there's nothing wrong with taking a different spin on it, but yeah.
Yes. But yes, so for me, another thing too, I think, is that while Death Note adaptations have been done in Japan, it was the first one in America. So like, if it was like the third Death Note adaptation, and like you and I are in our like 60s, you have a little bit more blood and gore and sex or something. Like, sure, it's different. You've done two already, right?
Right.
Like, there's certain movies that like there's multiple adaptations. Like A Star Is Born has been done. You heard about A Star Is Born? It just came out recently with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper.
Right.
Have you heard about that one or no? It's. I'm not saying you've seen it, but like, because I know you haven't, but like, it's kind of popular, so people have been talking about it.
Okay.
Like online, like people
heard about it.
Oh, okay, that's fine. So it was really good. It actually like won some awards and stuff because Lady Gaga is in it. She's not like the Lady Gaga you're thinking of, Tristan. She's changed up her look and stuff. So she's just a performer. She's not like doing it in a macabre style or anything. But the point is that it won Grammys, I believe. Like the song was very popular that they sang in it. They sang many songs in it. But it's like the fifth adaptation since like the 40s.
Right.
So this one is vastly different than the original, which I believe had no musical numbers in it.
Right.
So what I'm trying to get at here is that when you have multiple adaptations, like I get it, you want to do something different, but like the first U.S. adaptation of Death Note was one that was just so like, it was just trying to be edgy and gory and like sexy, and I was like, Like, I was like, I didn't hate it.
Can you not fuck on the Death Note, please?
Oh my God, Jesus!
I'll be back later. I'm gonna go play fucking Mario Kart.
I just want Ryuk to come in. By the way, when you fuck on a Death Note, babies die. Just flies out. You guys are responsible for that shit. That's on you, man.
That's why Ryuk and Mishima gelled so well. Hey man, I'm just happy you didn't fuck on the Notebook. Somebody
Jesus
did
Christ.
that? I don't want to talk about it.
Jesus Christ. Look, I gotta say, I actually have not been trying this every 10 years, but my cousin really fucked up in the U.S., so I'm trying to give it a good name again.
Oh my god.
Oh, speaking of Ryuk, his CG was beautiful. Like, you could see him
definitely.
express so much in his face now compared to 6, where he just always looked malevolent. Where in this case, you could really see that, like, he was just, not that he felt human, because obviously he wasn't there, obviously, but there was something about him that just felt right this time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the 2000s version, but when you see it, you know, like, you're not there.
Like, even the effects that he, like, when he would disappear into mist, like, that was fucking beautiful, too. Jesus.
Yes, which makes sense, because Ryuk is like, look, I love to fly, but, like, we're in a locked room. What, I'm going to walk out, get in the fucking elevator?
Right.
Granted, I know he can go through walls, but still, it's just like, nah, man, I'm good. Mist. You know, like, I was like, no, the effects were really good. The only one that I didn't like was the first Shinigami. I keep on forgetting his name.
Beppo.
Beppo, thank you. Because in my head, I'm like, it's Bellop, and I'm like, no, that's a Pokemon probably. Beppo.
Belgoroth? No.
Yeah, Beppo. He looked weird when he was
No, that's not it.
That's so close yet so far. He was behind all of them. When Beppo was behind all of them, when he appeared out of nowhere, he didn't look right. That was the only scene. Any other scene with a Shinigami actually worked very well. Even when Ryuzaki took a grape, they clearly had some type of object there.
Right, holding the grape, yeah.
Yes, it worked very well. Speaking of Ryuzaki, I'm so happy you liked him as much as I did, because I was worried you were going to think he was annoying, because he's not L. Yeah.
Nah, I thought he fit very well.
Well, because there's something about him, I think, that it's like this idea that, okay, he's going to be like Mello, so he's going to be rash, but he's not...
he was a little more on the action side than... So, in a way, a bit more like Mello.
Yeah, a bit like Mello. Yeah, an homage to Mello, but the reason why I enjoyed it more than, let's say, a Mello is because he was actually Mello. Where Mello, even though he was named that, he was this angry dude all the time.
Yeah, right.
All the time.
Yeah, Mello did some things.
Yes. In this case, I actually enjoyed that he was kind of whimsical in a way about it. Where, like, where you have Mishima, like, how could you have shot her? And he's like, it was a tranquilizer dart, man. Come on.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, no, like.
That was fucking great. Oh.
Paging Mr. Hardass, like, it was.
And the fact that later, like, he gives the gun over to him when he's about to take the notebooks, and he gives him the gun, and he, like, makes him point it at his head, and he's like, if you can't trust me, then go ahead and shoot me. Because we're fucked if you don't let me do this.
Yeah, no, the thing is like, I understand that they have such a huge bond throughout this film, why he would maybe consider letting Mishima have the name Ryuzaki by the end, but still, their bond throughout this movie, it wasn't months that was condensed into 2 hours. It was pretty much a week.
Yeah. I mean, it's, in a weird way, I guess it would be him being like, I know you can be better. Like, you obviously have the intelligence, but, like, morally looking at him, it's like, I know you still have a code, you just gotta find it again, I guess? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could say that. I think it was just, perhaps I could then say maybe it was rushed. Maybe there's a cut. Maybe there's so much lost on the editing room floor that it could have looked better. But with what was cut, it sounds like we're reciting fan canon more than what was actually shown on screen, I guess.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, like, if I'm not thinking about it that way, it really does feel like the movie's overall feel is like, haha, light won. Light wins in the end this time because apparently it was all according to plan.
Well, that one, yes, that one. I mean, that was so funny when he said at the end, like, all according to plan. I was like, oh God, that's your Marvel teaser. That's your after credit scene.
Right?
That was so funny. Yeah. Oh, something that I found very interesting. What?
Okay. Just quick, because that bit, and then Mishima leaving. Ryuzaki taking his place and Mishima leaving. I feel like that opens it up. It's like, because now, and with them like flashing the new world, like, is he actually going to make it the world that Light wanted, or is he going to take the mantle of Ryuzaki? And it's like they could make another question mark?
Well, I don't think they ever will. I think this was their. I think they're finished. If they make another. Because for me, I look at it like this, right? Death Note got 2 movies, and it got a spinoff because El Change the World did not progress anything. So they got 2 movies. This, in my opinion, should be the third, not like the first in a trilogy or in a duology.
Right.
I think this should be the third and final. Like, this is the resolution. And so one could argue that it's not a resolution with the way it ended, but with Death Note's existing in the world, how could it ever technically be a resolution? It's a resolution to the characters' stories more so than it is.
Right.
And the Death Notes went back to their home.
Yeah.
The Death Notes went back to their home planet. Like, you can't do that necessarily.
I would have thought, I mean, that's the thing. The only way you could really resolve it would be to burn them, but then again, there would be none existing in the human world, and couldn't technically the Shinigami just make another 6 and drop them whenever they fucking wanted?
Not even make. Remember, they're attached to them. They're attached to themselves. So a Shinigami who has one can just be like, do. Oh no, I dropped it. Boo. Oh, and a human picked it up. Whoopsie daisy. Go out and murder. So,
the only other thing I could say is if some way the police did succeed and they sealed them away, like they're in a vault somewhere. There's always the possibility that someone breaks in and takes them out.
And that's what they said. And it happened, and 4 of them were burned, but there's still 2 out there.
Right.
But no, I don't think
that never-ending cycle, really.
Yes, which, by the way, I get that there's a never-ending cycle. It's just, I'm going to keep on sounding like this guy, but I'm going to do it again. But when Ryuk is like, for some reason the Shinigami King is invested. I don't know. Fuck it. I'm just like, because it could just be a never-ending human cycle of madness. That's fair. That's humanity for you. So that's fine. But yeah. So but the thing is, you talking about which side will he take? From that perspective, something that I did not think of, because I got to be real. I'm sorry. I think of him as the bad guy, because anyone could have a code, and then once they get this, they're like, oh, good, I'm going to apply that code to murder. You've now become a murderer.
No, that ending wraps it up so quickly, and it doesn't give you any promise or trying to think of a better word, but the idea that Mishima hasn't changed. He got all his memories back. It's you were Kira. You set this all up. Why has any of that changed? Why is he not going to then continue along with his work? What?
You know what would have worked?
It's hard to see what Ryuzaki is like. Yeah, no, you're trustworthy now. Why exactly?
Here's what would have worked. If in setting this up, Mishima was like, I want to work with these guys and I won't be caught. So Ryuzaki dies in 5 years. Right? And then Mishima is put in jail. And then 5 years later, Ryuzaki's like, I think you've changed. You've had time. You've been here. I think you may have changed.
Okay.
I'm going to die. That's the date you've set. So, because I don't believe they showed a graphic or anything. It was just, this is literally within the month. Well, you've been in jail for nearly a month, so fuck it.
Okay.
I think that could have maybe made it work better with a time skip of you've been in jail, maybe you've gotten better. I trusted you, and I still do, and we've talked and had conversations. It's much different to do that than to be like, yeah, you're still the same guy from a month ago, technically. In fact, you're even more like him because you just got your memories back. So, I'm going to die, but hell, I guess we're giving the keys to the inmates, the keys to the asylum to the inmates. I don't know anymore. I'm going to die. Like,
right.
Ryuzaki's like, I have to let you know that if you do choose the side of Light Yagami, I really can't do anything to stop you. I'm about to die, actually. So, peace.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I don't have to suffer the consequences of my actions. Woohoo, I'm dead. Like, that's the thing. Like, if he does do if he starts working with the terrorists, it's like, well, what can Ryuzaki do about it? He's dead.
Right.
So, and I know the idea is maybe you should be more optimistic, you dick, and I agree, I agree, maybe I should. But,
yeah,
yeah. Okay, so it's not just me then.
It's funny. You usually well, it's weird. See,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of get, like, a mix of being called the optimist and the pessimist, but, like, gonna be real here. Or okay, I usually hear you saying that I like to look for the best in people, and you're right in saying that. But even I'm like, yo, this is a stretch, man. Like, I want to think he'll do the right thing too, but like, like looking at Ryuzaki, like, look, I want to believe he'll do the right thing too, but like, dude, come on.
Yeah. No, like, that's the thing. Like, I just look, because again, like, I think when you see Light Yagami, when he gave up the Death Note, he also wanted to do the best things. Like, he would have caught his own. Like, Light Yagami would have been like,
it's not
I will do
you
anything.
That's got me. It's me that's got me.
No, Light Yagami would have done anything to find out who the killer was and would have looked at all of the clues in front of him. And just like OJ, he would have realized it was me all along. So the thing is like... Whoops. Anyways, I got to show you some clips, Tristan, of SNL when Norm Macdonald was on, where he would be doing Weekend Update, and he would just be saying the most terrible shit about the OJ and the OJ trial. It was just so.
Yeah.
It was. I think I've shown you some of those clips, have I? Oh my God! It was. I'll try to send them to you. Anyway, no, but seriously though, Light would try to do everything he could to find out who the killer was, and I think that version of Light would he even said out loud, he's like, what if my memories were, like, what if it really was me? Like, that's how good of a person that he was, you know, without the Death Note. But guess what? Guess what? It doesn't change the fact that with the Death Note, like, you wouldn't give him his memories back, and he'd be like, I will change the world. Light, are you instinctively winking? No. Give me, I'm good. I'm good.
Right.
I'm good. Are you just practicing how to say good convincingly? I'm good.
Is that a pen in your shoe?
Oh, my God. I have pens everywhere in my body, everywhere. Light, you should go. So, that's the thing. I'm not saying I'm against the movie's message if the message is truly, hey, man, anyone can change, but you also need a little bit of time. You know, a little bit of time. A little bit of time to reflect. I don't think he had enough time in that prison to reflect. It looked pretty comfy. It did not look like a scary prison. No, like, everything was clean. He was by himself.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I feel like he was probably in a top secret, well, maybe not top secret, but like Ryuzaki had enough sway to be like, yeah, I'm above the law, man, like, get out.
Oh, how did you, by the way, how did you feel about Ryuzaki having a Death Note? Because I did not expect that, but I'm also happy that he wasn't the villain, because I knew he wasn't going to be villainous with it, but like, I have to admit, I was shocked that he had a Death Note. I did not expect that.
I mean,
like, when he walked into his house.
I wasn't shocked, but I was like...
Well, Shinigami greeted him when he walked into his house. Was that not creepy?
Oh, no, that was like, what? I was immediately like, what? But, I mean, I wasn't shocked at the fact, like, okay, it's here, but, like, obviously he hasn't used it.
Yeah, no, in my opinion, L would do something like that if he had known what Ryuzaki knows.
Yeah.
Like, L would definitely be like, oh, I'm going to befriend a Shinigami and get all this info.
Oh, I'm going to keep this thing. It's going
Yeah.
to be under a fucking lock and key, and no one will ever touch this.
Yeah.
But yeah, sure. I'll hang on to it.
Also, by the way, she said that whenever he walks in and out, he says, I relinquish the Death Note. Right?
Huh.
He does that? Didn't she say that when he walked in? He's like, by the way, I take ownership of the Death Note again. And she's like, you always do that when you leave the house.
Oh, maybe I thought. Okay, I thought all she said was, "You always leave it behind."
Yeah, but no, because I'm only saying this because if that's true, he should have forgotten about it.
Right. Yeah. Maybe he did. I don't know.
Yeah. Right. No, but he also wouldn't see her.
I didn't really catch on to that one too much, so I'm
Wouldn't
not
he
sure.
not see her?
Yeah, because you'd have to touch it again to.
Yeah. Oh, question.
To own it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you? I guess.
Yeah, just quick question. Because I think I told you this before, but I'm just curious again. So I loved the cameos. I felt like they didn't take over the entire narrative too much. Like, in other words, I
the
feel
cameos felt nice.
No, because the thing is, I truly did not expect them to. I think I remember hearing they were going to get, Matsuda back, but I did not expect them to get Misa back.
I did not expect Misa either. Like,
so
Matsuda,
when they were like,
I thought was a nice nod because it was like, yeah, of course he would join the Death Note task force. He's like, I was there when that shit happened.
Oh, by the way, so it's funny when they were, not funny in a way because of what happened, but when they were talking about like, well, none of us use our real names, and then the one person who had left, who then was running that investigation later, he was like, I use my real name. And then Matsuda was like, I do too, but I laughed because because they said, thankfully none of us use our real names and none of us have families. So for some reason, I thought Matsuda was going to be like, oh God, I fuck. Like he has a wife and kids.
Jesus Christ.
Like I don't know why I expected him to be like, I have a wife and kids. Like, thankfully he does not. Such an odd thing to say out loud. Thankfully he does not fuck. And
I mean, that was one sad thing about his character. Like the fact, like, of course, I feel like Matsuda would still have a goofy sense of humor and might laugh at the inappropriate time. But like when he's like, Light's alive, and they're like, don't be happy about that. He's like, fuck, right.
Ryuzaki was just dicking with him.
No, I know, but like, I feel like at the same time, he shouldn't be as silly anymore. Like, I feel like he's like one of the senior officers. I feel like he would be like, of course I didn't use my fucking name. What are you guys, stupid?
No, but his name was always attached to it, I thought.
Yeah.
Like, in other words,
guess.
okay, here's the thing. I think he was attached to it in a way where he's going to use his real name because he's a senior officer. How do they know that he's a senior officer? Like, because he was part of the original task force. It's been 10 years.
Right. I
don't think they thought there was going to be another Kira incident, but once that there was, it's like, all right, I'm using my real name, but it's not like I show up on the... Matsuda, in my opinion, was never supposed to show up in the field. And I think that's one thing that the movie got wrong. They sent way too many officers at way too many times when, like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, look, I know that they don't know how many Death Notes are out there or Kira's, like, I do get it. But it's not like there's, like, Kira snipers. I thought they were going to do a Kira sniper thing, but they didn't.
Jesus Christ.
No, like, I thought they were going to have,
We have the Death Note task force. We have the Kira snipers.
No, like, I thought, because, Tristan, when I heard that there was a cult, because I saw the trailer, I thought you were going to have, like, 3 people on a rooftop looking at officers and being like, that person is John.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to have, like, people with Shinigami eyes looking down, being like, that's his name right there, and then someone would write it in a Death Note. Right. Or something like that, or they would write it from a rooftop. Like, I thought...
Funny,
when
that
you hear,
I could see.
Yes, because when you hear there's a cult of Kira, 6 Death Notes,
right.
Like, I thought it was going to be, like,
right. Yeah, because
that.
when you see the opening with that girl who had a note, like, I thought she was going to be a part of a bigger thing, and it's like, nope, she's just insane. I'm like, oh, that's...
I mean, Well,
Terrifying.
it's clear. It's clear, you know,
Yeah,
because I thought she
Look
was
at me,
like,
Beppo. I'm gonna have a bigger record than Kira. Could you imagine just like when the video, like when Light's video goes out and he's just like, oh, and to that one girl who said you're going to have a higher record than me, fuck you.
yes. So here's something
A,
funny.
It's not about the record, and B, even if you tried, you'd still not have a better record than me.
Quick thing. When the Shinigami, oh, yeah. So, yeah, no, exactly. So Ryuzaki walks in, sees her, says hi, gives her the jacket, walks up to the Death Note, touches it, and says, by the way, Arma, I reclaimed the Death Note. And she's like, you always leave it when you go out. And he says, I'd risk being seen by God of Death's eyes.
Right.
Like that he's a user.
Right.
Because they could tell.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right. Because
yes.
Isn't it your name doesn't appear or your lifespan doesn't appear?
One of the two. So someone, if they did see his face, would be like, oh, it's him, and then that means that you could just tell everyone, which would not help his case. Because, of course, because he's not as well-renowned as L yet, even though he is above the law, but still I think that some of the cops would shoot him on the spot if they knew he had the Death Note.
Right.
I mean, Mishima almost did.
Mm.
I loved later when Arma's just like, so you think I'd kill for you? And he's like, no, I was bullshitting. He's like, I wanted to live. I fucking lost it.
I was bullshitting.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah, no, that was great.
Yes. Also, at the end when Ryuk said adios to Mishima.
Right,
because he used a very slangish version of goodbye, so like it would have been like bye bye, so they just turned it into adios, and I was like, that's funny.
Yeah.
When they first mentioned Mikami, by the way, I thought that Mikami, like, either the kid killed Mikami and left, or Mikami was like, God, this car crash is bad, I'm outie. Because it was like, well, we never found a body, so like I thought. Like, I guess at first, yes. So here's what it is, actually. I should argue, because now I have the movie on again in the background. In the beginning, they had the idea, or not in the beginning, but, like, pretty early on, they had the idea that, clearly it might be Mikami or it might be the kid. Like, they're clearly, like, skulking around. So, yes, by the end, we probably do seem like assholes when we said earlier, wait, this guy, cult guy, isn't the Kira? Well, because they didn't really keep the plot point going throughout the movie. Like, yes, they had that little moment where it was like, Mishima, are you in leagues with Mikami? But yeah. But it was like, well, of course he's not. That's silly. And we were kind of right. We weren't wrong. But yes, so because of that, I guess that's another issue. Not a big one. I'd still give it like a 9.5 or a 4 out of 5, or 4.5 out of 5 really. But one issue as well is, like I said, like we've been saying a bit throughout the podcast, it was so fast. Everything was going so fast, in my opinion, that you didn't have time to sit with the fact that, like, there are still Mikami and or the kid are still out there.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
To me, I took it as, they're both probably dead and we should forget about them.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah. So, granted, I know we shouldn't have, so you could say that's on me or that's on us, but it just, I don't know, to me, it came off as we should forget about this because God only knows what's going on with them. I mean, they can't be the true Kira. After all, look at all the shit that's going on. I never thought that Light was actually alive, but I was kind of curious.
Yeah.
I was like,
no, there was a certain.
Yeah.
It was funny. There was a specific moment where I felt it. I was like, at the beginning, I'm like, nah, you're full of shit. There's no way he's alive. And then towards the middle, I was like, all right, he's still not alive. But what the fuck's going on?
I honestly thought he pulled an L, but for a longer extension of time. Where I don't know if the rules.
Like, he might have pulled some bullshit. I still don't believe it yet, but he might have pulled some bullshit.
And then Misa was like, he didn't pull some bullshit, but I don't necessarily, it's not like I don't believe in his message, so you do what you got to do, bro. Yeah.
Right. That,
and then she died.
I mean, it's funny that, right. I mean, that actually felt, in a way, that felt appropriate to me. She's like, yeah, he's definitely dead. So fuck you for trying that on me. But, like, you get the message. I get that you get the message. So you know what?
Well,
here you go, kid. Take your shot.
I mean, it's funny. I forgot. I don't know why I've forgotten. He didn't know, though, right? Like, he was legitimately thinking, look, if it's not Light, because apparently that's what she's saying, then I guess it will be whoever the new Kira is. So to be fair, I guess we were also supposed to think about Light. I never bought
then
it.
That made him angry. Yeah, that made him angry too, because he's like, no. Kira, like, Light is Kira. I will not accept anyone else. And whoever they are, I'm going to fucking murder them, and then I'm going to take my rightful place at this throne. Which I actually thought, I was like, oh, all right, that's actually kind of interesting.
And to be fair, even though Ryuk did help him kill those guards, he was still a dick in his own right for not telling him that Light's dead. He sat through all of this, like, so we're going to meet Light, right? Oh, yeah, no, of course, fuck yeah. Yeah, no,
sure
totally, man. Yeah, Light?
Just like...
Oh, I was just talking to him the other day. What did he say? Oh, he was hanging out with Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and Elvis, and, they were recording an album with Tupac. It was great. It was great, kid. Santa really has dope bars.
Oh, God. Oh. The fact that I could see Ryuk just trying so hard to keep a straight face.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my God.
Him trying not to laugh and give himself away. And the kid like, are you fucking lying to me right now? No, why would I ever do? And he just like breaks down. He's like, all right, I can't fucking do this anymore, kid. I'm bullshitting you. He's dead.
I'm a god of death, not a god of lies. Come on. It's just so funny though.
But you could argue I'm also a god of comedy.
Jesus Christ. You hear a voice in the distance. Oh, you want to go? God of comedy, my ass. Fucking King Kai.
King Kai? King Kai, is that you? We're about to throw down with this motherfucker.
So, yeah, by the way, interesting thing, right? The way Light kind of tied this all together without realizing it in some ways. Again, that's kind of why, like, Light truly didn't plan this. It's all bullshit in a sense. Because he planned his kid to one day be the true ruler of all, but, like, Ryuk took it into his own hands to be like, hey, man, you.
That didn't work out.
You
fucked up your kid super hard. Did you really think that was going to go any other way?
Yeah, no, because we saw Mishima shoot Mikami, but he didn't kill the kid. I'm pretty sure Ryuk is the one who, like, did that car crash.
Possibly.
Like, because Ryuk said out loud, like, nah, man, they lost their minds, and this wasn't working out. So, like, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I had to put him down.
Yeah. So, what's interesting, too, is that Mikami was also the lawyer in the case. So, clearly, like, that was part of the plan. Like, there was definitely a 10-year plan where, like, Mikami was like, I'm going to defend her, and how funny is it that nobody knows. I'm sorry, he wasn't defending her, he was the prosecutor. But, of course, he probably bungled up the case so hard.
Oh, yeah.
No, because remember, he's supposed to be like, Misa Amane is the killer, and she's terrible. And he was probably like, Misa Amane, someone who was clearly, because there's situations in the U.S., like, I'm not going to get into, like, I don't want to get into politics too much because, like, we're not talking about that here. It doesn't really relate too much. Although I will admit, though, man, do they trust their politicians so much. Like, the judge just walking up with the knife, like, if it was in the U.S., I don't know if they'd just be like, excuse me, sir, They excuse me third him for way too long. I know he was in a suit, but they excuse me third him for way too long. But
he would not have made it up that escalator.
No. But what I was going to try to say is this, right? Is that the idea that in some cases in the U.S., in some trials, again, we're not talking about which ones in particular, but certain trials it does happen, sadly, there are situations where the prosecution is in leagues with the other side in some way or another, and shit doesn't go down the way that it should. So it's kind of interesting in this case. Like, I have a feeling Mikami was like, Misa Amane, what fucking ever, guilty or not guilty? Only you can decide. No, you're kind of supposed to, like, present the case. A case? Yeah. What is a case? Like, he's, in his mind, he's like, I'm going to play the worst game of Phoenix Wright I've ever played in my life.
What really is a case?
What really is what really is a man? Like, he's just fucking
what
supposing
is law?
Really? Something we are supposed to practice? But can law ever truly be perfect? Because practice does make perfect. What?
Like, somebody get him the fuck out of here. No, wait, I'm not done.
Yeah, no, like, literally, he clearly was trying to fucking mess with the case, and guess what? She got off because, well, what does she know? Granted, she didn't know anything because her mind was wiped, but even Ryuzaki was like, you probably should do something to her, which, by the way, should show that later on in the movie, he should have done something to Mikami.
Right.
Now I'm screaming because my memories have come back.
Yeah.
But anyway.
It's okay.
So
all of our memories make us scream, Matt.
That's true. That's fair.
That's what it means to be human.
Right. So yes. There's no joke there. Yes.
You're just thinking I'm going to have to orchestrate a car crash for you now, aren't I?
Oh dear God, no. I would never orchestrate one. I'm not even good at orchestras. I'm just gonna I'll be behind the wheel. I'm really bad at driving. I don't drive. That's what I'll need to do.
That's how
one thing
takes
too.
Anthony down. It wasn't
No. By the way, speaking of the last 20 minutes again, other than the one woman who she had bangs, her brother died. Her, even though I said that I disliked it, still something had to happen there. I get it because clearly she had mentioned it earlier in the movie. I get it. But with the other few guys, the ones that got taken out by Misa, it really felt like they just had to clear it because you couldn't have anyone telling Ryuzaki that he was crazy for what he was going to do.
Yeah.
Because yes. If you had someone there to actually tell him, no, don't do this, like the woman who tried to kill Mishima or the other few officers that were then killed, something would have happened. Like where he would have been like, you know what, maybe you're right. What?
Yeah. No, I feel like they would have turned on Mishima.
That's what I'm saying.
Like if the other two, they would have turned and been like, well, we have to kill him. He's Kira.
Well, no, not kill him, but I think they would have been very much against what Ryuzaki wanted to do is what I'm saying.
Right, yeah.
I don't know if they would have wanted to kill him, but they definitely wouldn't have been like, let's make him the next L.
Right, yeah.
I think that much at least. So, yeah. Wait 1 second.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. No, I don't know. I thought the internet went out for a second. I'm like, but we're on the internet. Hello, everybody. We're still live. This isn't getting edited out. What are edits? What is an edit? Anyway.
What is live?
What is live? No, I was worried the phone was going out because it's all connected. Anyway. Hello, everyone.
Right.
We're almost done with the episode. Don't you worry. We have not dragged on. No, but it felt like they had to just wipe everyone out just to kind of keep it, wipe out everything they've made. Not for a second movie. Because that's the thing. That's the interesting thing about this. When you keep stuff around, I feel like that's when you do sequels. But I will admit, I do like I'm not saying I want everyone to live. It's not Death Note is not a story where everybody lives necessarily.
No.
But it does feel like they were dispatched with haste. You know?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. the way Ryuzaki types, it's just a faster way that L used to type, and I love it.
Yeah.
No, because he's grown up around computers more, so he's like, hey, I'm better with computers than L, arguably, but I'm still typing the way L types. I love it.
Yeah.
Because we saw it in L changed the world. It's just 1, 1, 1, 1.
Right.
That's how he was typing to Kira. Anything else you want to bring up before we kind of wrap this one up?
Oh, did we mention the mask? I know we mentioned it when we were talking earlier before the cast.
No, right. We didn't mention the mask. Of course, the mask is reminiscent of L's mask, both in the live-action version and in the anime manga. And I'm so happy he used. I am so happy he used it because it really showed off how wacky he is. Because he was even more wacky than L's mask, and more whimsical. So there was something about Ryuzaki that just really meshed well with me. I think his comedy stylings, just how, because he wasn't, to me, it didn't seem like he was flippant. Like, it seemed like he was truly cognizant of everything that was going on. But he also understood that in certain situations, you have to be amazed and awed at what's going on. Where when he sees, Beppo, he's just like, oh my.
Wait. Make a face before they touch it.
No. He says, make a cute face.
Make a cute face. And then the thing's got like fangs the size of my hand. Jesus
and a golden mask face. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So no, that was funny to me. Although now that we know that he has a Shinigami in his home, of course that's why he didn't freak out.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true.
Yeah. Even though, again, he should have forgotten because he gave up ownership. But either way, that's it. It happens. There's gonna be.
Do you fucking imagine that? He just like jumps every time, and she's like, you'd think, I forget every time. All right.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, hey, where I'm from, I'm fucking gorgeous. So you know what?
Oh my God.
Fuck off.
I love all of their designs for every new Shinigami, including, of course, Ryu.
Yeah.
Were brilliant. Like,
I
gotta
did
say,
like Arma's design. She did have a sense of elegance to her, and that was nice. And Beppo was fucking cool. Like, Jesus Christ, the gold and like his teeth. My God, his teeth.
I'm sad he just left.
I know. Yeah. I mean, I don't know really where you would have put him in, but like, yeah.
Mhm. No, I think that despite some of my issues with the end, this does feel like an amazing follow-up to Death Note as a whole, even.
Yeah, like, it's funny. I guess for me, it was hard to get into it a bit, because every time I think of Death Note, I can't help but just think of it as Light and L.
Of course.
And I like the idea of having a legacy to that, but at the same time, I'm like, it's never going to be, Light and L's cat and mouse. And I guess this would be the closest that you could get to it with new characters, but still try and continue on that tale. So, they did do a good job with it. Like, yeah, obviously it had some, problems here and there, but, like, what doesn't,
Yeah, no, I think that the problems
looking at
were
it
not,
overall, at the end, I do enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I think the reason why I'm saying that it feels like a good follow-up is because it's very hard to do any kind of follow-up of any kind, because do you go so far in the future that the two of them are considered legends, or do you go with, do you stay in the present, which if it's, heck, if it is 10 or 20 or 30 years later, then it still does feel like it's been a long time, and, then you feel like if the characters aren't dead, you then are in this really awkward situation. So, like, you look at something, let's talk about something that was a bit not controversial, right? Something light, but there were some issues, but not too crazy. So, like Star Wars Episode 8, right? Something non-controversial. Right. No one really talked about it online. When you have Luke, right, you either make Luke different than he once was, because in their canon it's been a very long time, right? It's the same amount of time you could argue it's been in our canon, right? It's been a long time. Hasn't been like 10 years, right? It's been a while. Or you make him the same happy-go-lucky character, but then you're like, wait, has he just not changed at all?
Right.
Does he just not change for like 20 years or so?
Yeah.
Are there people who just don't change in any way? You could say that it was too drastic of a change. I get where you're coming from. I'm just saying that,
Right.
like, yeah, I get it, right? I'm not saying that people are wrong.
Hi.
But what I'm, yeah, right? Tristan's like, I'm getting off of this podcast before it goes nuclear. See ya.
No, I was making the joke.
Oh.
It's like, who doesn't change in 20 years? Hi.
Oh. I mean, you have changed.
I
Because
know.
you would have been 6.
I mean, I would hope so.
You would have been 6. I'm pretty sure you've. Do you potty? Do you go potty now when you need?
All right, go fuck.
Fucking 20 years, you fucking fuck. Anyway, I need you to make me laugh. The scene that just came on where Matsuda died.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but again, though, something we mentioned way earlier, they cut right when it happened. Like, it wasn't like, we got to see the bullet go in his brain. I'm just like, nah, I'm good. Please, no.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Please don't.
We don't need to see that kind of stuff. And again, if it was a movie that was based on that, like, well, hey, man, the manga was bloody, I'd be like, oh, that sucks that they took out all that blood, you know?
Mm.
But the manga was not that way. And some of the deaths that you're talking about from the anime, at least the early ones where Light is broadly stroking, those were in the anime only. Like, they were done to make it, like, they didn't really show those in depth like that in the manga. The ones they showed more that were a bit more graphic were, like, the bus crash, and even then it was more graphic in the first movie. It was more graphic in the first movie than it was in the manga. They just showed, like, if I remember correctly, I think even in the anime, they showed his fucking big-ass face, and then the car, and then that was it. In the movie, I remember there was, in the theater, everybody was like, whoa, because when he came out, he just immediately gets hit by, like, a bus or something. Like, boom.
Right.
And everyone was like, whoa. Yeah, anyway, so look, yes, you were right. There's going to be problems with anything. But I think in this one, it just, up until that point, the problems were minuscule, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then it went off a hill, and I was like, hey, man, like, I don't, like, it's just not really working for me. And I think
it's like a Calvin and Hobbes comic. You know, they're winding around down the hillside in the wagon, and Calvin's going on this philosophical rant, and Hobbes is, you know, adding to it. And then they fall off the side of the cliff, and then they wind up in the pond.
I don't think, I haven't read enough of Calvin and Hobbes, clearly.
I mean, they're fine every time. They land in water.
I mean,
but yeah, no, that's a reoccurring
you would drown
thing in the comics.
Okay, but what was I going to say? Yeah, so oh God, that's so funny. They just said on the subs, they said shut this down, but for some reason my brain just autocorrected to shut this shit down, and I don't know why it did that. But no, yeah, so I have to say again and again and again, Ryuzaki, I really enjoyed what he brought to the table, and I'm so happy you did too. I thought you would think he was this annoying character. And there was, I want to say one more thing. I'm trying to think of one more thing before we just be like, goodbye, everybody. No, you know, I think we're good. I just hate it because sometimes we're like, okay, goodbye, we say all our things, and then we exit, like we finish up, and then I'm like, damn it, but that one thing.
Right, yeah.
Oh, the LCGI was so bad, but I'm happy that they tried to make it bad.
Right, yeah.
Because even, like, everyone was saying, like, oh God, that's so bad. And then Ryuzaki's like, oh, you like it? No, actually. No, yeah, so, yeah, anything else you want to say before we wrap this thing up?
No, I think I've got everything out.
No, I'll say this much. It was definitely worth it. Because I bought it. Like, because I lent you the DVD. But for me, I actually bought it. So it was definitely worth it. I paid, let's see, it's supposed to be $26, which I think it would have been worth $26. If it was 20, I don't know if it was 22 or 26. It was supposed to probably be 26. But I got a sale because I think I bought this around Christmas.
Right.
But it was pre-ordered. So it was like, oh, it'll come in eventually. And then it came in, and then I was like, oh, Tristan, maybe we should do this soon, because at that time I think we had already done Death Note, the second movie, but not El Change the World yet.
Right.
So it was like, oh, maybe we'll see what happens. And then
Yeah.
when I saw the trailer, because I booted the Blu-ray up in my on my PS4, and once I saw that trailer, I was like, I'm going to give you this DVD, Tristan, and you're going to watch it, and in 7 days you're going to fucking thank me.
Yeah, you literally phased through my wall and said, all right, Tristan, it's time to watch the movie.
That's kind of how I felt, yeah. Like, once I saw the trailer on the disc, it hooked me. Because I could swear I didn't send you the trailer, right? So you had no idea about any of this going in, other than me saying, I think I might have told you maybe Light is still alive, and you were like, Nani the fuck?
Yeah, no, I think I remember that, and I was like, Nani the fuck? And I was like, slightly angry about it.
So I thought I told you that to try to hook you in, because again, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Because in usual fashion, some of you guys maybe new listeners, you don't know. As I usually do, I watched it right before we go live just to get our full-on live takes. So I didn't sit here for weeks like, this fool, he will soon learn. Like, I try not to do that because I will forget certain things. So I watched the entire thing right before we went live, and it's just so funny that it's just, so we're both experiencing this in real time.
Right.
And yeah, no, it definitely, this movie in itself was a worthy successor. I definitely think that this movie's worth it. So if you can get it, regardless, you definitely should buy it in some way or another. I would suggest DVD Blu-ray combo pack, only because, again, I was able to lend my DVD to Tristan and then play the Blu-ray on my PS4. So I think that's easier to do. So that's just my take on it, because usually I was someone who was like, no, I got to get the DVD only. Why am I going to get two of the same thing? But as someone who does podcasts, and even though you have a PS4 now, still you can play that DVD anywhere in your house, including your computer. So it's a bit easier to be like, you know what? Actually, let me just give this over. Let me actually just give this over to Tristan. So, or to anybody else. So honestly, yeah, I think DVD Blu-ray combo packs have actually won me over now. Because for a bit I thought they were worthless. No, because I was like, why do I want two of the same thing? I either want one or the other. Why am I going to buy both when I could just buy one and be fine? But I don't know. First of all, I don't even know if they have a separate DVD or Blu-ray option, and if they do, it'll probably still be the same price. Like, oh, if you don't want to get both, then get the DVD for like $16. And I'm like, Again, with the sale, I was like, let me just get both for $19.
Yeah.
So so I'm happy. It looks great, by the way, in Blu-ray. I know you have the DVD version, but like the Blu-ray version looks amazing. So
nice.
Yeah, no, I definitely think if anyone wants to pick this up, you totally should. So again, thank you all so much as always for listening in. If you're listening to this, through our Blog Talk Radio account, blogtalkradio.com/Those Guys on the Radio, thank you. If you're listening to this through our YouTube channel, which is Those Guys on the Radio, thank you. And if you're not listening to this through those options, I'm confused. I don't know where you're listening to this. Maybe you searched up Those Guys on iTunes and you found us there, which, again, if you did, thank you. But if you're not listening to us through those three options, I don't know what you're doing. Like, you can't be pirating us. Are we that big? Do we get pirated? I don't know. I don't know how you listen. But either way, regardless, thank you all so much. We love you all for tuning in all the times that you do. Help us be us. I also remember that this will be up on our Those Guys on the Radio YouTube channel, but on that channel we also do Keikaku Corner, where we talk about weekly anime, manga, comic book, and other pop culture news. And we also have our Those Guys Play YouTube channel, where we both play video games, review video games, do like retrospectives and stuff like that. Very fun stuff. Also talk about some news there as well, but that's just me alone. And we have our TG Productions YouTube channel. On that channel, usually tokusatsu related, where we'll have I'll be talking about different tokusatsu news, or I'll be doing reviews or other kinds of fun videos about tokusatsu and anime and some other stuff as well on there. And if you guys want to help us keep the lights on, you can go to our Patreon, patreon.com/TG Productions, patreon.com/TG Productions. And depending on what tier you go to, you can get a lot of fun stuff from us. Again, just help support us, be us, or just keep on watching. So thank you all, love you all, take care, and tune in next time for something completely different. All right, guys, so see ya.
well, humans are so interesting.
Humans are
Yeah.
so interesting.